This episode is sponsored by Lake Monster Details, producing the legacy line of Don's Light and Magic parts, offering upgrade parts and decals for accuracy, special effects, and lighting. Visit www.lakemonsterdetails.com and make it glow. Hey guys, Will here. Welcome back to Model from the Ensign's Chair. This is episode 14 and this is the final episode. I am done. The build is complete. The Enterprise is ready to go. I know I kind of breezed over a couple things in these last couple videos. Mainly because I'm going to do another build of these. This was an enjoyable build and I've learned a lot of stuff from this build that when I do another build I want to correct. It's not a perfect build. There are some mistakes. I'm not telling you what mistakes there are, but there are some mistakes. But overall, I'm happy with it. It turned out really good. Let me plug her in so we can take a look. You can see how she is, and hopefully the noise of the motors, although they're better than they were, doesn't drown me out. All right, so there we go. Not too loud. She's definitely a lot quieter than the stock motors that come with the Polar Lights kit. So, but there she is, all completed. See if I can spin her around. Take a look. And I've got the warp nacelles wired into a switch. See if we can cut those on. But in the bright light, you're probably not going to be able to see it. There you go. You see it a little bit in the light. I will say that's one thing that I want to correct my next build. I don't think the lighting's bright enough for these warp nacelles when I turn them on. You can tell I'll turn it off, turn them back on. But I've just got them wired into I had a leftover switch from a previous Ten of Controls kit I used for my Reliant build. So I just use that switch on here to control turning on and off the warp nacelles. So I like that. It turned out really well. I do like the way that the Paragraphics photo etch parts kind of diffuse the light there a lot. So maybe that's part of it too. But I definitely want to light that up a little bit more so it's a little more noticeable and brighter light. I don't have to turn all the lights out in order to be able to see it. But she turned out really nice. And especially for my first build of this, I'm really happy with it. I'm going to do another one that, this kit here, for those of you who maybe seen this months or even years down the road, they're getting ready to come out with a new lighting kit. Polar Lights is getting ready to release a new lighting kit. It's revamped, and hopefully it's a lot better than this kit. I'll say this kit's adequate for lighting the model. It's not hard to do, but it's definitely, I definitely wouldn't say that it is plug and play. There's a couple connections that you're definitely going to want to solder, and there are some electrical issues as far as making connections and then having the polarity reversed from the power cable into the board itself. So a couple things need to fix there. I'm really hoping they address this issue with the shuttle bay being so hard to fit in here. My next kit I definitely want to include the shuttle bay, so I'm hoping this new lighting kit comes out, addresses some of the issues with the lights. I think if they don't go with something smaller as far as like SMDs or that for the shuttle bay, or actually put out a different size shuttle bay that will fit better into the hull, then I'll probably just go ahead and just use SMDs myself next time. So I think it's a better option. Another thing too, I don't know how it shows up on camera, but these red and green bulbs that come with the Polar Lights kit don't transmit light very well. It's the same issue I had with the nacelles. You put those colored plastic parts in there, they just don't transmit light. And you'll remember when I did the nacelles, I actually took those out and used my UV resin to fill those in and then painted them with Tamiya clear colors. So I should have done that. That's something else I'll do on my next build too. These just don't, excuse me, these just don't light up well enough. Another thing, and I mentioned this before, is the skylights, I guess if you want to call them. They don't light as bright as, say, the dome or the BNC deck. But that could have been rectified by, they give you the option of putting them up closer facing out, your LED strips inside the saucer, or put them up towards the front. So I recommend, if you're doing this kit, put your LEDs up towards the front. That way these light up more consistent with your dome there, and with your windows around the edge here. I did notice that I added a little extra. I cut out a window that really wasn't supposed to be cut out in the bottom, so I've got an extra window down here. So that's another mistake I made. But other than that, I mean, most of the other mistakes are pretty minor. The layperson's not going to be able to notice any issues. So I think the part that turned out best on this for me was my deflector dish. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Secondly, the nacelles, or the bustard collectors, I think they turned out really well. And I know it probably doesn't show up on camera very well right now because I've got daylight, if I can see how this is showing up on camera, because my view screen here keeps freezing up. I need to get a new camera set up. But you probably can't even make out the blinking lights in there because of the daylight. But they look pretty good. I'll experiment with that some more on another build and see if I can make improvements on that. But other than that, like I said, she's done. I'm actually going to take a trip into town tomorrow to my local hobby shop and see if he wants to put this on display for a while. Help drum up some sales for some more sci-fi models, especially Star Trek, because he's got one of these sitting in the box right now on the sale floor. And putting this out, maybe somebody will want to buy it. I know I'm going to buy it here shortly if nobody else does, because like I said, I'm going to build another one of these as soon as the new Polar Lights lighting kit comes out. Couple parts I didn't use, obviously because I did the, let's see if I can turn this around here, because I did the grills on the back here. I didn't use the little dome caps that go on the back, so maybe I'll figure out something to use those for later, but I've got those sitting there if I need them. Also, there's these two little discs, and it doesn't call for these in the instructions for the lighting kit. It does show them in the basic build model, basic build instructions for the model itself. But the lighting kit omits these, or just I left them out because the instructions didn't say to put them in. They're supposed to go in front of between the motor and the front part where your lighting control board is for your bustard collectors. And I didn't use them. I don't really see any need to. As far as I could tell, you're not supposed to when you use the lighting kit, so I didn't. There's quite a few photo etch parts. I didn't use any of the little people or anything like that, but there was this one little disc that comes with the photo etch set that's supposed to go in your dome here in the back. And when I looked at the pictures from the Smithsonian restoration of this part, this isn't in there. This little detail isn't in there. And I didn't see where it really added anything necessarily to it. So I didn't use it. So and I don't really think you can tell the difference with it. So I didn't use that part, and obviously I didn't use the open shuttle bay doors because I didn't do the shuttle bay. Other than that, I've used pretty much every other part that came with it, except again the motors that came with the Polar Lights lighting kit I did not use because they're way too damn noisy. So, and I did get my bustard collectors and my my little fans there, fan blades that are from Polar Lights, because these were wobbling a little bit, and I was going to try to use the black masking that comes with the Aztec dummy mask, which I ordered another set of these. They just came in the mail the other day, so I've got these for when I do my next TOS build. And I tried it, I put them on there, and be honest with you, even though I know this is close to what the Smithsonian restored it to, is the black lines, I actually kind of liked, when I put them side by side, I liked the metallic look of the fan blades for the Paragraphics photo etch set. And so I just liked the way it looked better. I thought it looked more realistic, you know, than just the plain black. So I've got these if I ever need them, but I was able to work these out to where there is really not much wobble to it. Unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't know to look for it. So, you know, you can look at these and see if you can tell, but I was able to remove most of the wobble from it. Once I put a little super glue on there, and I kind of worked it in there, and I turned it on, let it spin just a little bit and see how it was, and move it a little bit before the super glue set up, and I was able to get them in position where they don't wobble as bad as they were. So I'm happy with them. I think they look fine. Like I said, unless you knew to look for it, you wouldn't know it's there, or there was an issue with it. So but other than that, everything else was used. I still haven't done the I think that's supposed to be for the phaser on the bottom of the lower sensor dome. I haven't done it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it because honestly I never noticed it in the original series, but it's there, and like I said, I don't know, I might use it, I might not. I don't think anybody's gonna miss it. So but let me talk about, for a second, let's talk about the paints I used. So, and again, before I go into these paints, I just want to say these are the paints I used. There is no right or wrong to this. They basically give you, Pololights gives you this little color chart of the paints they use, of the paints that they recommend, and you're supposed to match up these colors to a paint. They don't give you the name of an actual paint. So these are the paints I used. So for the Enterprise Gray, I used Tamiya. I used 2 parts XF12, which is the JM Gray, and 1 part XF2, which is the flat white. So that's how I got the base color for it, and I think it looks pretty good like that. I am going to play around with the acrylic paints, craft paints that Boyd recommends, and take a look at that and see how that matches up to this. And hey, I may even like that color better when it comes out, but I'm going to try that out and see how that looks for my next build. But if you want to stick with Tamiya or the your basic model paints, so that's what I use. 2 parts XF12 to 1 part XF2, and of course I use my airbrush to lay it on. For the exterior accent, which is supposed to be a darker gray, which is your number 1 on this, I used Tamiya, and it was AS32 medium C gray, and I think that was actually in a rattle can. It's actually a lighter color than what this calls for, but I tried a darker color and I just thought it was too dark. I didn't like it. So, you know, whatever floats your boat, you know, what you spray it on, see what you like, and you know, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. So I liked it with the lighter gray, so that's what I went with. The neck accent up front here, which I didn't really show much. Let's see if I can get it up to where y'all can see that. Probably can't make it out much with the light. But the light blue neck accent up here. Originally I wanted to use the Tamiya light blue, but they didn't have it in stock in my hobby shop. So what I ended up picking up was the AK Real Colors brand, which is FS, looks like 35526, which is a light sky blue, or you can use the Tamiya XF23 light blue. And after I did that, I came back and I went through all my paints, and after I'd already painted the neck, realized I already had a bottle of XF23. So, but it's alright. I like it. I think it looks, it's not too dark and it's not too bright. I think it kind of sits in there where it needs to be. So, you know, feel free to use the XF23, which is a light blue from Tamiya, or you can use the AKFS 35526, which I think is actually a little bit of a lighter blue than the Tamiya light blue. So, you know, again, whatever your taste is. Number 3, the intercooler accent. Again, I used the AK color. It's a FS 36495, a light gray. And that's for these accents on here. It's a little bit of a light it's a really light, almost white gray, and I'm not gonna be able to get them into too well. I'll put a lot of these pictures up on the Facebook page. I know some of you don't do Facebook, but it's kind of hard for me to get these up in the camera where you can see them. But it's kind of a brighter, it's more like almost a white gray. So that's what I use for that. I did not use a medium gray that it calls for, which is your number 6. For the number 7 pewter metallic, which is that is the needle here. I used the folk art. It was rose gold color from folk art, and these were like that was like a metallic type paint. And then your silver metallic, I used Tester's Chrome, which is for the grills on the warp nacelles. For the new penny copper metallic, which is your back part here, I used another folk art paint, and that was I got it right here. I think I already went over these, but I'll show you again. So for the number 7, the pewter metallic, I used this treasure gold, which is a folk art paint, and this is the rose gold color. That was for the spire there, or the needle. And then for the new copper, new penny copper, I used this antique gold from folk art, which is a metallic. And then for the old penny copper that it calls for on here, I used the folk art, again metallic, and this is antique copper is what this one's called. So those are the paints I used, and I'm going to go more into these. I know I've had some people ask me about how I did that with the craft paints, how I did my navigational deflector, and I'm going to go into it more. I may not do it until I get around to doing another one of these builds, because I don't have another deflector dish to paint. I was thinking about doing the small one from my smaller one, but it's not going to show up as well on that. So when I get ready to start another build, I'll go into detail on that. And then of course it's got your transparent green, your transparent red. I just used the Tamiya transparent in those colors. The interior hanger accent, which I didn't do I originally had painted the shuttle bay, and then I ended up not using it. So I don't remember what color I used for it, for that one. But the interior hanger walls, I used a random tan, which they got the random tan in Model Masters paints, but if you can't find those because they're getting hard to find, AKFS 33613 is the AK version of random tan. For number 15, the white, I used fine white primer for all the white. And then for the rust ring, which I didn't do the rust ring per se up here, but for those rings underneath, I used Tamiya again, XF60, which is a dark yellow. And I didn't do any of the weathering, so I don't have anything for that. But so those are the paints I used. Like I said, try them out, make adjustments to them if you want. You can paint these things pink if you want to. So you do what you want with your model, whatever makes you happy. That's how you build it. But anyway, like I said, it's been a pretty good build. The lighting kit is sufficient, and I'm looking forward to doing another one of these when the new lighting kit comes out, so I can give y'all a look at how the new lighting kit looks. But after I do all the painting, I also want to say I used it was a Duplicolor matte wheel for the clear coat. That's what I used. Same thing Boyd uses on his. And I really like it. It gives it a little bit of a sheen, but not too much. And it does just enough to, for the most part, hide the seams on the decals. Now these do have a couple spots where I can still see a little bit of a seam, only because I know it's there. And you might be able to make it out on camera, or you might not. But anyway, that's the build, guys. I appreciate everybody watching, and everybody subscribe. Thank you. What we're going to do now, I don't know. I'm actually going to go back to finish up the smoothie build that I was working on, but there won't be any videos on that for a while, because the first thing I'll be jumping into is Aztec Mania with it. So I'll be doing a lot of Aztecing with it. I'll be posting photos, photo updates every so often, but as far as a build video, I probably won't do another build video on that until I get to final assembly, which is putting all the parts together. I've already got all the sub-assemblies done. So as soon as I'm ready to put that together, and then we'll probably do another video on it and show that. And outside of that, as soon as my other lights come in, I want to finish up my build bench here with the lighting. And after that, we'll see. I've got a lot of models. Matter of fact, I had another acquisition this week. I picked up Bird of Prey, and it says 1/650 on the box, but as far as I know, that's a misprint. And of course, I'm sure there will be some debate on that. It's supposed to be 1/350 as far as I know, but there's been some irregularities with how the models were used and represented in different classes and yada yada. So, you know, it's up to you what you want to believe, but I'm hoping that's as close to a 1/650 as I need to be. And other than that, that's it for this, guys. I'm going to also be playing with, I did order a Arduino Uno, so I'm going to be playing with doing some lighting, so hopefully in the future I'll be doing my own lighting and be able to customize things more. So that's what I'll be working on. And like I said, it'll probably be a little bit before I put out another video. The next one should be hopefully getting close to wrapping up that smoothie build once I get everything wired up and the final painting done on it. So please keep it tuned. And like I said, thank everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank everybody for their feedback. I appreciate everyone's input and advice on building this and getting some of these parts the way they need to be, especially with the motors in these fans, because they're definitely a lot quieter than they were. So thank you guys, and until next time, keep modeling.